are increasingly finding themselves without a roof over their heads. Homeowners say debt collectors step in for the smallest unpaid bills and add thousands of dollars in fees, making it impossible to pay back. They're now calling for the law to be changed to avoid this for such small amounts. RT's Ganesh Chichikan has more.
This house in one of Baltimore's poorest neighborhoods wasn't Vicki Valentine's dream home, but at least she says it had been a roof over the head. That's up until February this year, when she was forced out of the house with her 17-year-old son.
You want to grab that real quick?
Over what began as a $360 water bill.
I just don't understand why it was sold.
Vicki's claimed debt, just as the debts of thousands of other Americans, was sold by the local government to a private investor. That's common practice. And once the debt is sold, the private debt collector adds fees and interest rates to it, and the debt blows up, in Vicki's case, to more than $5,000.
In fact, the water bill was over $5,000. Who has an over $5,000 water bill? That's unreal, because that's enough to supply water for this entire region around here. Come on, 5,000, well, closer to 6, really.
That's after your debt was sold?
Yes.
Couldn't they turn off your water supply?
Yes, they could, if it's not paid, of course. Or
then why wouldn't they? Why would they have to send the debt? Why would they have to sell your house if they just can't turn off your water supply?
That's a good question. I'd like for you to ask them that, because I like to have the answer, too.
In the most recent auction, Baltimore sold liens on more than 12,000 properties. Reportedly, a quarter of those debts involved amounts smaller than $700.
Lots of houses in this neighborhood are shut down, just like Vicki's, many of them over the same piffling utility bills. And the question they're asking is, what makes the government so much in a rush to sell even small debts of a couple of hundreds of dollars, knowing that when private debt collectors get involved, those bills inflate tenfold or even more.
Looking at hundreds of people who lost their homes in Baltimore over relatively small bills, members of the City Council are urging state legislators to set new limits on sales of tax liens to private investors.
What we're asking for is that the General Assembly will pass that for Baltimore City, that you can't put a property in a tax sale for a water bill that's less than $750. These are not good Samaritans that are going around helping people out. They're doing it because there's financial gain involved.
And it's actually in their interest to take it to court?
Yes, because then that forces you to either pay or they take control of your property.
Vicki Valentine, who now lives with her mother in a one-bedroom apartment, is planning to sue the city for losing her home after what she claims to be an unfair trial. Tracking down the payments that she had made over several years, she doesn't understand why her house was put on tax sale in the first place.
Here's the tax sale notice right here.
Among other receipts, she shows a $1,000 payment she made in 2005, which she says would be enough to cover whatever debts she might have had and more.
I took it to court to show, actually show it to the judge, or I at least attempted to show it to the judge. But she told me, basically how she was ready to rule and that she didn't need to see it.
And the court ruled against her, ordering to seize the property and give it to the investor that bought the debt. The debt collectors that Vicki dealt with weren't available for comment. But her problem is not them, she says. It's with the government that sold her out cheap, without hesitation, and left her searching for a roof over her head. Ganesh Chichikan, RT, Baltimore, Maryland.